Have you ever wondered just how much you need to earn to be considered a top earner? I've done the research, and on this video I'm going to share with you what it would take to be in the top 5% and that all important top 1% of earners if you live and work in the US. If you're new to this channel, I'm Matt, I'm a finance consultant. I've spent over 8 years working for one of the top consulting companies in London. I now run my own company, and on this channel I talk all things personal finance. So let's get going. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, the annual median income for employed people in the US is now around $59,000. But how does that compare to the top 5% and the top 1%? Well, Smart Assets has done some helpful analysis of IRS data this year in 2024, and it revealed to get into the top 5%, you would need to have an annual income of over $290,000. And to get into the top 1% of earners, you would need to have an annual income of over $787,000. That's around a 20% increase from last year according to Smart Asset. One thing to note is that these figures are based on data for across the US. However, the thresholds to get into the top 5% and the top 1% varies by state. For example, Connecticut has the highest threshold to reach to be in the top 1% at over $1.15 million. And California residents are not far behind, needing just over $1 million to be considered in the top 1% of earners for their state. By comparison, to be in the top 1% of earners for states such as West Virginia and Mississippi, it requires an annual income of over $420,000 and $440,000 respectively. If you want to see the income data for your state, you can see this on Smart Assets website. Post the COVID pandemic, we've seen wage increases driven up over the last couple of years, along with inflation and the cost of goods going up too. However, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, over the last 12 months, wages have increased on average by 4 to 5% across private sector jobs and also local and state government jobs, which is quite a lot lower than the 20% increase for the top 1% of earners. So one thing this data definitely shows us is that it's getting harder to get into the top earning categories. If you want to try to improve your earnings to move into a higher earnings category, and importantly to allow you to save and invest more money, then there are a few ways that you can do this. In my view, the number one thing is to focus on building your skills and increasing your value on the job market, either to be able to negotiate a higher salary or to be able to find a higher paying job. For example, if you're currently a waiter in a restaurant and you manage to save up $500 and you take that money and you pay for a sales course, which enables you to get a sales job paying you more money. If you're then able to add the ability to do marketing on top while you're doing your sales job, then you're now able to run an ad campaign, get customer leads in, and close sales. Your earning potential has just gone up tenfold compared to the pay you were getting as a waiter. The second point is to understand your market worth and to arm yourself with that information before you go into any discussions on pay and compensation with your employer or potential employer. There are lots of tools out there which can help you do this research, such as websites like Glassdoor, or you can look at job adverts on platforms such as LinkedIn, where you can see indicative pay ranges for the type of work that you do. I think probably the best way is to connect with recruiters to understand opportunities for a similar job at another company and what the pay would be like. The key is to get robust data which is comparable to your current job or the job that you're going for. For example, it's in the same industry, the same location, and at the same job grade. By doing this and arming myself with the right information, it's one of the things that's helped me to double my income over the last 12 months. And I think if you can get in the habit of periodically doing this, it will put you in a much stronger position to be able to negotiate your pay and get your true market worth. And the third potential way to increase your income is to start a side hustle business. There are lots of videos on YouTube and online giving ideas on what you can start from scratch. And many of these you don't need to have lots of startup money to get going with yourself. For example, it could be teaching a short course online on how to edit photos, which you can do on platforms such as Udemy. Have a think of what strengths and skills you already have that could help you to earn some additional money on the side. The final point I'll finish this video on is that by having a high earned income doesn't necessarily mean that you're rich. An individual could be in the top 5% or even in the top 1% of earners, but if they have a high cost of living and lifestyle to maintain, the amount of money that they're able to save and invest could actually be quite small. For example, although you might live and work in New York City or LA and have an above average salary, the high cost of living means that your disposable income could be lower than someone doing a similar job earning less per month outside of these cities. The key to growing wealth is using earned income to be able to save and invest, and over time to compound your investments to become wealthier and wealthier. So as well as trying to increase your income, you also need to manage your expenses and avoid lifestyle inflation, which is where as you earn more money, you spend more money, and then at the end of the month, you don't actually have anything additional to save. So if you can combine income growth and do your best to keep your expenses at a similar level or within your means while your income goes up, you'll find you're able to grow your wealth at a much faster rate. I hope this video has been helpful. Feel free to leave any questions in the comments and give the video a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.